Hey there superstars, I'm Dolly Raystar and I'm here to remind you that the map is not the territory, the menu is not the meal. So fancy coming on an adventure through this wild landscape and finding us some good eating. Alright, today's adventure will involve some tools for processing and releasing anger. The map is not the territory, the menu's not the meal. The map is not the territory, the menu's not the meal. The map is not the territory, the menu's not the meal. The map is not the territory, the menu's not the meal. I feel like it's important to start a video like this off with a nod to the fact that anger is a part of life, and you know, it can be a useful ally in our lives sometimes. It can point to ways that we're not honouring ourselves, boundaries that we need to set up, or that we're not honouring that we have already set up, and ways that we're being mistreated or that others are being mistreated, injustices, that kind of thing. And also that I find myself, and I think this is probably true for a lot of people, that anger has been one of the emotions that I've found it most difficult to not feel shame over feeling, particularly when it's not around things that everybody would understand that you would be angry about, when it's about or that I might not feel they would, even if they would, when it's about personal boundaries, when it's about things that maybe you might think could look small to somebody else but they matter to you. And yeah, it's something that we feel in all sorts of situations, and that's okay. That said, I'm sure that most of us have experienced times, and certainly I think it comes up as a neurodivergent person, it's something I've experienced a lot in my life, where anger can become really all-encompassing. It could be this big all-encompassing flash, or just really take over a little bit in a moment in life. And perhaps that kind of thing can be really helpful if you're dealing with an immediate threat to your person or something like that. But often a lot of the things that we come up against in human society, it's not a useful response to, or the way that it can make you act towards others isn't a useful response. And so having some ways to process what's a really intense experience and to release it without putting that onto ourselves or others, and just to kind of allow it to move through our systems, is really useful. And likewise, I suspect most of us have experienced some of the negative effects in our own bodies and systems that can happen when we try to suppress anger, or not to allow it to do that kind of moving through the system, because of some of the effects that it can have when we do that in less controlled ways. So yeah, in this video I'm going to share 3 techniques that I've found really, really useful for allowing anger to be processed in the body, to be released from the body, and they're really, really simple. So good things, they feel good to do when you're in an angry place. Sometimes it can be a bit of a leap to go, I'm going to go and do this thing now. And also sometimes there are times when you just want to, and it's right to sit with these things and allow them to just be there as well. But I think for times when it is useful to be able to go and just release some of this stuff and process it through the body without it coming out in difficult ways in communication and in life, these are really, really useful exercises. And the effects are quite interesting. Sometimes I find that doing one of these exercises can really clarify the issue that I'm feeling anger about. It can lighten and sharpen that response and be helpful for me to be able to maybe come to some conclusions about some more useful and healthy things that I might be able to do about it. And sometimes, quite often really, it dissolves entirely or just really lightens and becomes, actually quite funny. So I will now head home and show you how they work. Okay, so the first of these that I'm going to share with you today are variants on punching, basically, and yeah, there's a few different ways of doing this. It's quite nice to kind of feel into, depending on how you're feeling, what's going on in your system, you know, what comes up for you. You might have a sense that one of these just comes up for you once you've done them a few times, and then you'll just know that's the thing that's going to work for you. Using your body as a guide and your intuition as a guide as to what's going to work best for you in the moment is often the best way to go. So as long as your elbows are in fairly good shape, this can be as simple as just kind of punching the air. You want to take a deep breath and then breathe out on each of the punches, and yeah, like this. And then take another deep breath afterwards. And yeah, that can be quite good if you're just feeling more of a kind of frustrated anger, a kind of energized anger. That can be quite a good way to release that. Or, you know, I've done some phases where I've just done that in my morning routine for a while and experimented with that and seen how that's affected my system. That can be quite interesting too. So another punching variant is punch the bed. So we're going to take this down here for this one. And you want to be able to kneel comfortably by your bed and have your arms comfortably like this. And again, take a deep breath in, clench your fists, and clench kind of along here as well, and your arms. And hold it as you raise your arms up above your head. Then say ah with some force and punch the bed. So it's like ah, and breathe out. Ah, and open your hands once you've punched each time. So take a deep breath in, tension, raise, ah, down, release. And you want to do that maybe between 3 and 5 times. You know, you can feel into it, see how it's working. And yeah, just one last thing actually on that last one. Make sure that you center yourself before you do it. Breathe in deeply, and also afterwards, you know, just take some deep breaths, feel what's happening in your body, give yourself a moment to process. You might find you burst into laughter or have other kinds of reactions, maybe little shaking reactions. That's all really good. It shows that you're processing what you're feeling. And again, that can be quite an interesting thing to try sometimes when it's not, like, when you're not feeling massively angry as well, in a kind of more general way, general processing these things in your system way, raising it up and letting it out. And yeah, it can also be quite good when you've got a kind of real, like, weighty, heavy kind of anger on you. So yeah, let's try another one. The next one we're going to do, and the final one, is laughing. And this is really fun, but it can be a bit more of a stretch if you're feeling particularly angry, but it can be a really good way to kind of dissipate it. So what you want to do for this is stop, take a deep breath, and on the out breath say ha 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 ha, and this is known as the laughing breath. So it's ha 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 ha, and you do 5 of those, and then 5 of he 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 he. And again, you might find yourself bursting into laughter. Go with that, enjoy that. That's all part of the process. And the final one. So that's just like real belly hysterical laughter. All the different forms of laughter can be brought into it, and just have some fun with it. So 5 of those with breaths between. And then afterwards, stand. Again, feel what's shifted in your body, feel how you feel different, just feel into the effects of the exercise and what's going on in the body. And yeah, that's really it. So yeah, give one or all of those a go if it appeals to you. Enjoy the experiment and let me know how you get on in the comments if you do give one of them a go. I'd love to hear from you. I'd also be really interested to hear about ways that you have to process anger and related emotions and your experiences with that. So until next time, superstars, please give this video a like if you found it interesting or useful. It helps get it in front of other folks who might also find it useful, and it really helps grow the channel and all that kind of thing, which I would love to get back into doing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe for more useful exercises like this, for transcendence, for glorious oddballs, and processing and releasing of emotions, and generally tapping into the surprising beauty and delights of life through the body. So yeah, do share this with somebody if you know someone who might be interested in it. And if you're interested to explore any of this further, you can also check out what's available on my Patreon. There's a few different options there, or book an exploration call with me and we can see whether we'd be a good fit to work together and what I might have on offer that might suit you. So loads and loads of love, superstars. Until next time, bye.